Working 9 to 5 used to be what a way to make a living, but it seems those days are a thing of the past, according to a new study finding many employees are working well past those hours in what is being called the infinite workday. New data from Microsoft shows 1 in 5 meetings are now happening outside of regular hours, and meetings after 8 p.m. are up 16% from last year. To talk more about all of this is executive coach Liz Bentley. Good morning, Liz. So good to see you.
So good to see you too.
So it used to be 9 to 5, but boy, that seems to be changing, doesn't it?
Yes, it's unbelievable. So as we know, the pandemic really changed our life, and this is where we saw it really kick into gear because people weren't leaving work anymore to go home, and so they were staying online and working well into the night. And now we're really seeing it in the numbers. 40% of the people are starting their workday at 6 a.m. and a third of those people are still online at 10 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're really just cranking, and they're finding also that they're so busy during the day, packed with meetings. It's hard to find time to do the actual work. Also, as you noted, because we're working with multiple time zones, they're having meetings at night. Right? So we're having 16% of the meetings are up at past 8 p.m. at night, which really cuts into your personal time with your family and in your personal life.
And on top of the extended hours, it seems many workers are also taking on additional responsibilities.
Well, and also helping each other out. So you have your entire workload for yourself, and then you're trying to help your peers and your subordinates get their work done too, because there's just so much of it.
So according to the Microsoft study, the average worker gets 117 emails and 153 chats a day, which often leads to those longer hours. And that is quite incredible when you think about that. Is there such a thing as digital overload? I'm sure looking at these numbers, there sure is.
There definitely is. And so this is really something we're talking about all the time in coaching, especially with leaders, on how to work smarter and not always just hard. There's a lot of inefficiency in the workplace, and this is an example of it. So what we have to remember as employees is to control what you can control. Employees always need to be thinking about how to make their days more efficient, how to manage their time so they can have times for focus and getting the actual work done during times that they feel the most optimal and at their best, and how to think through all of their strategies in managing the workload. So let me give you an example of something we've done with employees. We'll be talking to someone and they'll say, I get 120 emails a day. How can I possibly manage this? So I'll say, okay, let's look at yesterday, scan those emails, and look and tell me how many of those emails were urgent. When we look at it that way, that number goes way down, sometimes down as low as 5 emails, right? Then let's say, well, I still have other ones I have to respond to. But now all of a sudden we're looking at maybe 20 emails or 25 emails that had to be responded to in that day. So think about how different your mindset is if you're saying, I get 120 emails a day versus saying, I get 20 emails I have to respond to a day that really matter, right? So you really need to think about it like that, because that really shifts your mindset and how you feel about the work and what you're tackling.
All right, you deal with business leaders all the time, and we hear about this work-life balance. So what suggestions do you give to them about how to handle all of this?
So the key to work-life balance is going to be trust. We need to have trust with our team and with the people we're working with, right? So we're all in it, and we know that we're working towards the mission and that we're all working hard and we have a lot of integrity. We can take breaks. We can say when someone calls us in the middle of a dinner or when we're with our kids, hey, is this urgent? And they will say yes, and we'll jump in, or they'll say, no, don't worry about it, I'll talk to you tomorrow, right? Or we can say, hey, I'm exhausted. I need to take tomorrow off and just really take a break from things, and everyone will say, no problem. People are very reasonable, but when they lose that, it's when the trust isn't there. So when we really have good relationships with the people we're working with, we understand each other, and everyone can get each other's needs.
Executive Coach Liz Bentley, always good to talk to you, and such good advice. Thank you so much.